Anyone who watches Star Trek is familiar with the alien race known as the Ferengi. They live by an absurdly commerce-oriented culture, and accordingly, their society is governed by a set of sacred precepts known as the Rules of Acquisition. In this video, I'll be presenting the top 10 of these rules.
Rule of Acquisition 17. A contract is a contract is a contract, but only between Ferengi.
Contract law is the ultimate arbiter of Ferengi society. I would say it holds sway over all business dealings, and it certainly does, but it's important to realize that the Ferengi see everything as business. This includes friends, family, politics, religion, literally everything. In a society ruled by contracts, each individual acts in his own interests, but when the interests of different people conflict, then the way is open for them to accept mutual constraints that will enable each to do as well as socially possible. Of course, all this only applies to dealings with other Ferengi. For business dealings with inferior races like the humans and all the others, well, screw them.
And a Ferengi without profit
is no Ferengi at all.
The 18th rule of acquisition.
This rule reflects the heart of Ferengi society. For warrior cultures such as the Klingons, for example, you attain power and social standing through martial prowess, conquests, and victories in battle. It's largely the same for the Ferengi, except rather than warrior skills, they revere business acumen, negotiating skills, and of course, profits. Profits, they're how you keep score, how you know where you stand in Ferengi society.
I think I agree with the 59th rule of acquisition. Free advice is seldom cheap.
This rule points out that basically you get what you pay for. Free advice, being free, has no real value, no worth, therefore it is worth less. Following cheap advice ends up costing you more in the long run. Whereas purchasing good advice and worthwhile intelligence is a vital step in business success and thus gaining profits. Brief pause here for a quick reminder. If you enjoy the content you're seeing, please remember to like the vid, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And now back to the list.
I had to follow the 75th rule of acquisition. Home is where the heart is, but the stars are made of platinum.
Ferengi, though very transactional in nature, they do care about family. They love their mothers and place importance on raising children. Ultimately, though, they know you don't make profits sitting at home. You have to seek out opportunities. You have to escape your comfort zone.
Must I quote you the 76th rule of acquisition?
The 76th?
Every once in a while, declare peace. It confuses the hell out of your enemies.
If Sun Tzu was Ferengi, and instead of the art of war, he was writing the art of the deal, this would be one of his tenets. It perfectly aligns with many of the great tacticians' ideas concerning using deception to gain advantage over your enemy. Example, appear weak when you are strong and strong when you are weak. And one more, the whole secret lies in confusing the enemy so that he cannot fathom our real intent.
What is the 95th rule of acquisition?
Expand or die?
Business ventures and interests are never in a neutral state, never stagnant. You're either expanding or you're shrinking.
What's going on over here?
We expand or we die.
If you try to settle down and maintain your position, your competitors will soon outgrow you, stealing market share, stealing customers, and stealing profits. Every Ferengi knows you have to keep pushing, always growing, otherwise you're dying. And a side note about this one, this was attributed to two different rule numbers on different shows. It also showed up as rule number 45 on the Enterprise episode Acquisition, Season 1, Episode 19. Since this event occurred chronologically 2 centuries before we heard it quoted again, and because only 173 rules of acquisition are mentioned as the total sum at that time 200 years before, we can infer that the rules expanded in number and many changed their position in the intervening time.
Dignity in an empty sack is worth the sack. Rule of acquisition number 109.
When seeking profit, so in other words, at all times, don't let your ego get in the way. Your goal is to make latinum, not to be the winner of a pissing contest. When making business decisions, you must be logical, rational, and clear-headed. If you start letting too much of yourself, your ego, intrude on the process, mistakes will be made and profits will get away.
Rule of acquisition 112. Never have sex with the boss's sister.
Sex is good. The boss's sister may be good also, but on the Ferengi version of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, love, intimacy, and bonding are higher up on the pyramid and thus less vital than profits. Also, a true Ferengi knows that you don't crap where you eat. The boss's sister, that would be a severe misstep, likely to get you fired, and incidentally, it also violates the spirit of rule number 33.
Which brings to mind the 33rd rule of acquisition. It never hurts to suck up to the boss.
But remember, be discreet.
Rule of acquisition 168. Whisper your way to success.
To succeed in business, a Ferengi must appreciate discretion. You have to keep a tight rein on information. You have to master secrets, keeping yours secure, discovering those of your competitors. Ferengis know that the real deals are made not publicly in the business meetings, but in the shadows, out of the view of others, in the back room rather than the boardroom.
Rule of acquisition number 214. Never begin a business negotiation on an empty stomach.
This rule emphasizes the importance of preparation. Ferengi know that business is a battle, and you'd never go to battle unprepared. Often the battle is a war of attrition, with the ultimate victor being the one who can outlast the others. So before sallying forth and letting slip the dogs of commerce, get a full meal in your belly, check your P's and Q's, prepare better and more thoroughly than your opponent. And that does it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in. I had to discard a lot of really great rules in order to pick the 10 for this video, so let me know in the comments if you have any favorites of your own that I didn't cover, and thanks for watching.